Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 5 of Goddamn Gamecube. If you like our show, please leave us a rating on Spotify and subscribe on YouTube. Thank you, and enjoy today's episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Goddamn Gamecube. Greg and Riley are your hosts today. Nick the intern is with us as well. And today is a celebration. It is the Season 5 finale. I just want to say first, thank you to all the fans who listen. I always, how do I put this? I laugh, but I'm very proud that there are thousands of you that listen to us every week. So I thank you guys for all your support and listening to the show. You know, I really love our season finales now that we've kind of turned it into like a mailbag and us kind of reviewing the business of the show. I will say this, like Goddamn Gamecube is a lot of work, but I love doing it. Riley, do you love doing it?
I do.
He does. Nick?
I love being an intern here.
I mostly love Greg's little moments that he has on the show.
My little moments where I get to express myself.
Yeah. I feel like I'm the audience, you know?
Oh my God. All right. So how our season finales have worked recently is that it is mostly a fan mailbag. We have asked all of you guys over the course of the season to send in your questions, and we make a promise that we are going to answer them all. I will have you guys know, I believe we received 46 questions. Is that right?
Something like that.
So I said to Nick, we're capping this at 50. So here's what we're going to do. We have a few business items. We always review the business at the, during the season finale every year. So the business items are going to be real short because there's 46 questions. You guys, I want to say this too. I really appreciate the fans interacting with us and asking questions. I like, interacting with the fans and such. I think it's fun. So let's review the business real quick. We have some exciting stuff. So number one, this is kind of crazy. I think the fans will be proud and they'll also laugh. The Game Developers Conference has invited Goddamn Gamecube to cover the event as members of the press. So I will be at the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco, March 17 through 20. So if you're going to be at the Game Developers Conference, come say hello. The next thing, we will be at PAX East because I'm doing the Barbershop Quartet. Once again, we do it every year. Our concert is the Saturday of PAX at 5 p.m. But if you see the Barbershop Quartet, come say hello. Nick, I believe you're joining us. Is that right?
I'll be there on the Saturday.
Now, Riley, are you out? You're not attending PAX. Is that right?
I'm not in town, unfortunately.
Okay. So Nick and I will be there. The other point of business I want to say is that the fans, if you're listening on Spotify, you may have noticed that there are now advertisements during the episode. I will have you guys know, yes, that is on purpose. And yes, the ad placements are put in there by us. It's not up to us what ad plays. So I'm not sure if you like the products being advertised, but we did choose to monetize the show. And just so you know, if you listen to the ad, it does help us and it does support Goddamn Gamecube's revenue stream. So if you can suffer through a 15-second ad for 70 minutes of us yelling about Final Fantasy 16, we'd appreciate it. So the last two bits of business that I want to bring up before the questions, we've had several fans ask us about, do we have a Discord and do we have a Patreon link, that kind of thing. The answer to that question is yes, but it's a little bit different. We do have a support link on Spotify if you want to support the show with $1 or whatever you want to do. And we do have a Discord that we are going to be opening up to fans. So just send us a message and we will send you that link. If you want to join the Discord. We've also had people ask us about merchandise, and that is also coming. And we will put it out on social when the merchandise is ready to be purchased. Okay, now that we're going to conclude this business, unless Riley or Nick has anything to add about business.
If you start the Discord, if you jump in there, behave yourselves. Be excellent to each other. I don't have time to babysit you all.
And I just want to, our friends in real life are moderating that Discord. So we'll kick you out. If you don't behave.
We'll trust them to enforce our rules.
Yeah.
Right.
Nick, is it pronounced? Is it Kaime 86? Is that how it's pronounced?
I think so.
Yeah, so Kime86 will kick you out if you don't behave.
That's right.
So, the last bit of business. So this is a little bit nostalgic. Is it nostalgic or is it melancholy? I'm not really sure. So this is actually the last episode we are recording in this room in real life. So I bought a home. I am now a homeowner. And so our podcast studio is moving with me. So we did 125 episodes in this room? Well, we also, we did do some virtually. We did go to intern Nick's studio as well for some of them. But
this is where it started.
This is where it started right
here.
here.
In this room. Yep.
You know what I don't remember? It was a different couch, wasn't it? You guys can't see the couch we're talking about.
It
that was a couch from 1,000 years ago.
Yeah. So anyway, it will be in a new studio. So we're gonna give this podcast studio its proper send off with a season finale of 46 fan questions. So here we go. We're going to give everyone their due. Are you guys ready?
Yes. We're ready. Let's do it.
Here's how this is going to work. I'm going to read them all in their entirety. We're going to answer them one by one. Thank you guys for submitting them. Let's do it.
If you submitted multiple questions too, we're probably just going to take the first one you submitted.
Yeah, if you submitted multiple questions, we are probably going to take just one because there are so many. Riley, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do this. So from YouTube, the user's name is That Brown Mink. This person asks, are there any recently released or upcoming titles you guys are looking forward to playing, including mods, remakes, and expansions? I have one. I am very much looking forward to playing Alan Wake 2. However, I hope I don't have to eat those words because I have said that phrase before about
another
Remedy game, and then I hated it, which is Control. So I am looking forward to Alan Wake 2. I know, Nick, you and we do really want to play through Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes.
Because just so all the fans know, goddamn Gamecube is a lot of fucking work. And so we're playing games and doing industry analysis and not always playing games. How do I put this? No, we're not always playing games for fun. Sometimes it's for the sake of education and analysis.
Sometimes it even starts out that way and it turns into, as you guys have recently experienced, a little bit more than you bargained for.
That's right. Do you guys, before I don't want to just take this one myself, you guys looking forward to anything other than those?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to catching up on some 2023 releases too.
Yes.
Like Lies of P, I would really like to play.
Spoiler warning, I just played it.
Right.
I'm not going to tell people what I think of it.
That's
you
right.
have to tune in.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'd like to play Lies of P, Baldur's Gate 3, and I will be suffering through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth at some point.
I'm sorry. Riley, do you have any?
Nah.
No.
None?
Nothing?
No, I am also looking forward to Alan Wake 2. As well as Hellblade 2, which is apparently finally coming out very soon.
Right.
I think that's a month or two from this time of recording.
I
It's
believe
soon.
so.
That's great.
Which is crazy to think about, but I'm used to calling my expectations at this point.
I understand. I actually just finished Dredge as well. I should say this too. I don't think I said this on the show. I did play the new Silent Hill game, the little 2-hour one. What is it called? I can't remember the name. I must have really liked it.
Yeah.
With the last message, the final message, secret shit. That's all right. Whatever.
Well, I am looking forward to seeing how the remake of 2 actually
I am looking forward
up.
to Konami relaunching this franchise. By looking forward, I mean sweating, nervous, all of that. We're going to move on, but we're very worried about Silent Hill 2. Here we go.
That's right.
Next question. This person's name is Alexander LR8TM. What are your thoughts on the DS2 trailer, OD, and Kojima's new tactical espionage game, Fizzant? So I'm guessing DS2 is Death Stranding 2. Riley, do you want to talk about Death Stranding? The Death Stranding 2 trailer first? I guess I have some thoughts. Go ahead.
Okay, so I scrubbed through it because I think at this point after MGS5 he spoiled so much of that game in the trailers. I'm like, I really don't want to see that much of it. You know what I mean? So I just just to see what he had to show, I scrubbed through it and it looks like pretty silly willy, wouldn't you say?
I think the phrase you and I used in a chat was we're really not looking forward to Troy Baker dicking around again.
The clown show.
What would you call it? The Troy Baker clown show?
Yeah. Just because to be clear, we like his performance in The Last of Us. There's some other ones that are good, but him in that game, he's really hamming it up. And of all the people to bring back, I just like, I can't get into it if a character is gonna like die and then keep coming back. You know what I mean? Like,
And I gotta say it, I'm not into the weird like guitar solo villain, whatever they did in the trailer. I don't like it.
it's so silly.
It's too
There's
silly.
like the puppet.
Yeah.
And it's really just because what I liked a lot about the first one is how kind of somber it was,
Yes.
like especially when you're on the road and stuff. And you know, they have George Miller as a character in this one, so you're gonna have some crazy like Mad Max stuff going on. And it's just like, I don't know, like I think he is officially at that George Lucas point where he needs a right hand man to say no. Or
You're
woman.
talking about Kojima or Troy Baker?
Yeah.
By both.
Maybe both, but specifically Kojima. You know, I
Yeah.
love him and his ideas, but it's just like I miss the sort of more tactile and just like I told you, the Death Stranding ghost detector. I think it's a really cool thing that if we found out ghosts were definitely real and had to look for them, that's kind of what it would look like, and it would work in such a way.
What is that thing called? What's the ghost detector called in that game? I can't believe I can't remember right now.
But I like stuff like that. I don't like how he's like an anime villain who can like obliterate a city and he can't kill you.
Yeah. And so before this turns into Death Stranding review again, do you have any thoughts on the other aspect of this person's question, like OD and Fizzant?
I'm definitely more looking forward to OD, which is apparently a horror game.
Ooh.
And I'm not. We know full well his capacity for that, which is PT, which is terrific. So I'm definitely looking more to that. And the Fizzant, I don't actually know anything about. I'm sure it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, we're probably going to cover Death Stranding too, for better or worse. Nick,
what did we say? Like, I'll play it, but I'm out.
Yeah. I think that's literally. I may have typed that in the chat, or it was you. I said I'm out, but I'll play it.
Yeah.
Nick, do you have anything? Or are we moving on?
I appreciate Kojima, but I do not care about any of these games. That's how I think.
So here we go. So this next one is from I think it's Mr. Y3225 Mirai, something like that. This question is quite long, but I give everyone their due on this show. That not all of our fans think that about me, but that's fine. So here we go. Here we go. Your podcast is my favorite of all my podcasts, which I have been culling in favor of listening to court testimony and interrogations. Anyway, I appreciate you guys avoiding the soup du jour games and really following your own roadmap. That's a nice compliment. I appreciate that. Question with a question mark. Who among you has sworn off multiplayer games completely? I mistakenly bought a month of PS Plus because I thought it was required to play Suicide Squad. It is not. Excluding the obvious, with friends it's fun. It's fun angle. What has your trajectory been with multiplayer, and does the nominal fee influence your choice? I'm a console player that refuses to pay, even Nintendo Online current, but likely to balloon rates, and I haven't done so since they stopped giving away games with gold. I can answer this question.
Go ahead.
I really haven't been into multiplayer games since high school. And for me, that was a while ago. Now that we're all like veterans at this point, I mean, let me lay this down. Like when I was in high school in the fucking golden age of that shit, like 06, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever, that kind of high school into early college, all the Call of Duties and Rainbow Six and Ghost Recon and Gears of War. I haven't played a multiplayer game seriously in 13 or 14 years. Sure. I mean, I played, 10 or 12 rounds of Fortnite just to see what it was, and it's fine. Like, I don't really have a good answer for this. Have I sworn them off? No. Do I like them? Also, no. It's just not something I can commit time to anymore. Do you guys have input?
Yeah, I'm really in the same boat as you, Greg. Back in high school and even before that, you less so than me, but we were MMO guys. Way back then.
How could you say that when we had a RuneScape episode that was like 2 hours?
That's very true.
Yeah.
But we definitely don't play them anymore. I would say, I had never really played multiplayer games at all, aside from MMOs. And unless you count couch co-op as multiplayer, then I will probably never play one again.
Yeah.
Well, let's be real here. I'm 33. I'm not going to be good at any multiplayer games. Let's be honest.
I just can't keep up.
Yeah.
And I'm not interested.
Yep.
I didn't think about the MMO angle, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
Riley,
Yeah, I
don't you play a little bit?
a little bit.
Well, Halo here or there?
I have a couple comments on this question. Number one, I appreciate. I think that it kind of ties into the question is following our own roadmap, which I like. I like that we covered Condemned 2, even though no one has any reason to talk about that game.
Also, the Darkness too.
The Darkness 2,
Yep.
just all this stuff that fell through the cracks, because I think it's important to have the complete picture. And as far as multiplayer goes, I also feel like I can't keep up. I feel like everybody's playing something new, like every 2 months. Like Helldivers 2 is the thing right now. It'll probably be something else in May. You know, like it's just moves really quick. And as far as like, I haven't sworn them off, but I'm definitely less like excited about. I think I just have too many thoughts in my brain. Like I just need a nice relaxing single player, or some of the games we cover are co-op.
Yeah.
Well, then again, I would say this. I wouldn't even consider the single player games we cover to be relaxing. I would just say I can't keep my skills sharp in multiplayer games.
It's
I don't
very
want to.
competitive.
Yeah.
I would say as a last comment that my friend is trying to get me back into Halo Infinite, and every time I turn on that game, it's like fucking walking into Mohegan Sun. It's just like bombarding you with, you can buy this armor pack and this. I was just like, I would just want to play the fucking game.
I would love if I walked into Mohegan Sun and they gave me Halo armor and I go to Krispy Kreme. Like, that's all right.
That'd be pretty cool.
Also,
yeah.
I guess shout out to Mohegan Sun, I guess.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah, not a sponsor.
A great concert series.
Yeah,
Always-
great concert
always great
series.
stuff.
Not a sponsor. Nice.
Yeah.
So I guess the answer to this question is we all kind of swore them off in one way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say swore off, but I'm just not like,
Our
oh
interest
my God.
our interest in
Yeah.
keeping up is low.
Yeah.
None of us are really multiplayer guys.
Okay, this next question, I think this is pronounced Kate Sithism.
Oh, is it Kate Sith from Final Fantasy? Kate Sithism? That might
Nice.
be what this is.
Which one of you would win in a fight, assuming there were no consequences? Hypothetical empty arena, Steven versus Brendan, who's coming out on top?
I'm going to come out on a limb here. Listen, I said before, I'm 33. I work a desk job, and my interests include writing books and playing video games. I'm not winning any fights ever.
You know what's funny? I'm
also the oldest
I was
here.
actually going to say Nick, but you've had some recent injuries, so I would say maybe now it's not you.
True. I have had
Like, I'm
recent
not going to
injuries.
display your entire medical history, but like you had a neck thing.
That's right.
You had a little belly thing.
That's right.
Yep.
I've had some injuries over the past couple
Yeah,
of years.
you've had some surgeries, Riley.
Yeah, we both have weaknesses to be exploited.
I mean,
That's
to
right.
be honest, I didn't expect this answer to be me, but it might
might
default
be. No, it
to me
is.
because I've had some like good injury luck
Yeah.
the past
Well,
3 or 4 years.
hold
you
on.
also
though.
have a lot of rage.
Me? I'm very nice.
Hold on though.
On
Yeah.
the- on
I'm
the
going to debate
surface.
the injury luck.
Oh,
The rotator cuff.
I did sustain a rotator
Yeah.
cuff tear, but it was 5 years ago.
That's a tough one though.
Yeah.
Tough to come back from there.
tricky.
So I think the answer is none of us would do very well in a fight if we had to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like the. I like.
Hold on. I have to ask you something, Riley.
Okay.
I don't have a lot of rage. I think it's kind of like, I'm not saying I play a character on this show. but
No,
like-
we all I think heighten ourselves up a little bit for the mic, but I think you have not rage, passion.
Yeah.
I would say that passion is very. It makes me think someone is very strong. I
Yeah.
think. So-
Okay.
Oh, you mean it's that meme? Greg's the loudest, so he must be right.
That's the
It's
one.
One of those.
That's the one.
Right.
I'll also add to this, like just sneak me some milk, and for me not to not know about it, and I'm done.
You're done.
I'm out.
Poison.
He's done.
Also, I like how it says, assuming there were no consequences after the fact. That was very important to state. And what is the Steven versus Brendan thing?
I don't know.
I don't know
Is
what
that like
that
an
is.
MMA rivalry or
Maybe
something?
it
Maybe.
is.
I
Yeah,
almost
don't know.
thought this person was making reference to our intern debate, like who was a better intern, like you versus Steven.
That's
right. It could be that.
I don't know.
Could be.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yep.
This next person, they go by BBQ Cheese.
Hell yeah.
Hell
Like it?
yeah.
Great.
Will you guys ever tackle a Castlevania series retrospective, or at least do an episode on Symphony of the Night? Maybe. Okay, you could correct me, Riley. We've talked about it. Am I wrong? I don't remember.
So
Pull back the goddamn GameCube curtain.
let me state my Castlevania experience. I've played the first 3. I think
Okay.
the first one's good. I think the second one, I know it has its fans, but I did not like it. I think the third one is great. And I've heard Castlevania 4 and Symphony of the Night are excellent. I've heard the Game Boy Advance ones are good as well. It's hard to like. It's kind of like there's too many to do a retrospective.
Yes,
maybe like a March Madness bracket or something.
Yeah,
if we ever get there,
or maybe like something where sometimes Nick and I do the like we're gonna take a grand look at something. Like we're gonna do all the Capcom RPGs, but a few minutes on both.
Yeah.
That, maybe that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Any thoughts? Do you want me to move on?
Let's move. I've never played any of them, but they're interesting.
They're cool.
Yeah, I'm going to move on. So from Twitter, this name is spelled RIQUE3K. Will there be episodes where you guys talk about some gaming news that captivated your interest or something like the history of Capcom DLC, Capcom RPGs? Okay, can I answer this one first?
Yeah.
This is the tricky one, where if you're listening to this podcast, I actually would appreciate you commenting about this, because I have a question for the audience because of this question. So, I like breaking up our seasons with an episode or two that I call gaming industry. Example, we just released an episode about accessibility in games, which I consider to be an industry topic. However, just so all of our fans know, those episodes do not perform very well. By that, I mean, it's numbers, a numbers game. They do I want to be straightforward. We're going to pull the curtain back. They do our lowest download amount, our lowest engagement amount. They're not helpful. But I like to break up our nonstop games with other interesting topics to talk about. But my hesitancy to do more is they don't perform very well. So I don't know if you guys have any comments on that. Yeah, like having a business meeting live.
That's
I
right.
guess.
Now, my comments there is yes, 100% agree for industry topics. However, I think this specific person mentioned history of Capcom RPGs. That could be another, like we just said for Castlevania. That could be an avenue to go toward too. I wouldn't mind doing more of those.
Yeah, then again, I just think doing Nostalgia Bros with you is fun anyway.
That's also
and I kind of like when we do a group of games, but kind of like we do 5 or 6 minutes on each.
Yeah.
Riley, anything?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because it's we have tried to maximize, I guess, our the amount of eyes that are on our show, and the easiest way to do that is seemingly these people want these retrospectives and specific games. But you did bring up also that the advantage of these kind of one-off episodes is if you don't know that specific game that we were talking about last week, you might know about or want to know more about the general topic of XYZ.
Right. Example, like if you don't, let's put an example. If you don't care about The Darkness 2, which is all of you, like you're not going to click it unless you really won't like to listen to us every week.
Unless you love us.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I think episodes like accessibility, not only are they important, it does let more people in on the show. Example, like, let's say you like video games or you're curious about them. You might not listen to an hour about Final Fantasy 16, but if we talk about a broad topic, you might be interested. So I don't like to give people 1 foot in, 1 foot out answers, but I think I have to.
Yeah.
Where I like doing them. I want to make sure this fan knows this. I like doing them, but they're limited. We only do 1 or 2 during a season-ish. Anything else? Should I move on?
No, I think they're definitely interesting and worthwhile, especially long term.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, Keats Goodwin. The question is, when can we get some merch? So it is coming. It's actually designed. We'll put the links out when they're actually available for public purchase, but it does exist. Okay, let's go to Instagram questions. Miguel Correa. This person asks, if you had to play one game for each genre for the rest of your lives, what would it be? We'll do a short answer on this one. This person is asking for like one RPG, one FPS, etc. The second question is any plans on doing any throwback Star Wars games, Coder, etc. So, okay, on the first question, if we had to play one game in each genre, that's a tricky question to answer. We could be here all day. How do you guys want to tackle this one?
I can jump in. I got an answer for this.
Sure.
So generally for me, if I'm going to pick like an RPG, it's got to be something that's infinitely replayable with infinite amount of builds. That's something like a Fire Emblem, a Final Fantasy V. Maybe if you go something like a Dark Souls, where every time you play the game, you can do something different. If I have to play one game for the rest of my life, I got to be able to do it differently every single playthrough. I don't play FPS. No idea what I would answer there. And Greg, for sports games, remember Home Run King?
Yeah.
Or Mario Baseball? I would go for those.
That would be yours. Okay.
Yeah.
Riley? How do you want to tackle this first part
I'll
question?
just do the ones they said, if that's
okay. That's easy. Sure.
For RPGs, I guess Dark Souls 1.
Yep. I actually in agreement there.
For that reason,
Yeah.
just for the variety.
Mhm.
FPS, I gotta go Halo 2. Just
It's classic.
It's just in my DNA.
You're a tasteful guy.
That's right.
Sports game, that's a good one.
You gotta
I
play
don't-
Mario Baseball with us sometime. or
Mario
Tennis.
Baseball?
Yeah.
Mario Tennis is fun.
I'm trying to
Tennis is
think of
fun.
like, I haven't loved any sports games.
Oh,
that
I
I've
got
played.
it. Riley, it's perfect. Wii Sports.
Wii Sports?
Oh, Rocket League.
No.
Rocket League.
I was trying to think of the name of that. I was like,
Yeah.
what's that thing? One good single player story adventure.
Final Fantasy 16. I'm
Fuck
kidding.
you.
Kidding.
Would you consider Ocarina to be that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Either that or Majora's Mask, but I said Ocarina first, so I'm going
Yeah.
with that.
All right, I'll rapid fire through this.
Yeah.
RPGs, I'm in agreement. It's got to be Dark Souls. One first-person shooter. You know what I would pick if the servers were still online? Battlefield Bad Company 2.
Wow.
Nice.
Good one.
I don't think I've ever made this statement on this show. I think that's the best one, and not many people agree with that statement. I would pick that one. One sports game. I have no idea. Like that's tricky. I don't know.
The baseball mod for Sekiro.
Yeah.
We gotta
Oh,
go
Nick,
back.
I play
Yes.
Gnome Ball.
Gnome
Gnome
Ball.
Ball.
Oh, that's a great
That's
one.
funny. One good single player story. That's tricky. For me, with the first things that come to mind are either Ocarina of Time or like Silent Hill 2. No, I have my answer. I'm going to pick Resident Evil 1 Remake because I play it for charity.
Yes.
So I will always
thought you were
do.
going to say Sands of Time.
No, because I feel like if I could only pick one, I'll pick the one where I also do the charity.
Yeah,
So
good
we'll do
answer.
that one. The follow-up question is, any plans on doing any throwback Star Wars games, maybe Knights of the Old Republic? The answer to that question is also maybe.
We get that a lot, especially for Knights of the Old Republic.
My feelings on this matter. I think we should definitely do an episode each on the Knights of the Old Republics because they're apparently very similar to Dragon Age, which I haven't
Yes.
played. I think you guys would like them a lot. I think the stories would surprise you, believe it or not.
Right.
A lot of great characters. Battlefronts are there's so much to say, but I feel like the episode would go on for hours.
Yeah.
I'll just say that. Well, I don't know, because our friend Josh was just on. He liked the newer ones,
Yeah.
or at least what they turned into.
Yep.
I'm a very big fan of the old Battlefronts, and the Lego games are just kind of like I don't know what I'd even say about them.
Besides that they're cute.
they're
Yeah.
cute, they're
They're fun.
fun.
Yeah.
Nick, do you know what I
know,
just
like-
thought of? I
Yeah.
just thought of Lego Lord of the Rings of Gimli cocking the axe like a shotgun. That
One of
was
the best
funny.
things I've ever seen.
I think that's my favorite of the Lego games.
It's a great
What
game.
I'm actually going to say about this question is what you're most likely going to get from us, Miguel, is Knights of the Old Republic. I would doubt the other ones, although I'd never want to say never.
Yeah.
No,
Knights
it's
of the
one of the most
Republic.
highly requested
Yeah.
games we get.
Nick, am I moving on or do you have input on this?
I'm good.
Okay.
Move along.
Next on Instagram is from someone named What an Answer.
Oh, I know that guy.
Yeah, we know this
I think
guy.
we know this guy. Yeah.
Thoughts on the industry? Ooh, here we go. This is a heavy question.
No, this one's tough.
Thoughts on the industry layoffs recently? I feel like this combined with the implosion of the esports scene implies a larger market correction. And he'd like us to follow up with our thoughts on AI as it relates to this market correction. Ouch. Okay, maybe I'll get the ball rolling on this. What are our thoughts on the industry layoffs? Obviously, don't want anyone to lose their job. What is the number at? It's in the thousands at this point. If you take 2023 and 2024, God, what do you even say? Okay, I don't want to say this as gospel, but I believe a majority of these layoffs are coming from overhiring during COVID and thinking games were going to sell better or you're going to have more projects than you think. And the next one would be either the lack of VR sales or advancements and those kind of things, and those employees being laid off. I think those are the two major ones. Riley or Nick, whoever wants to add on.
Yeah, I would agree there. So it's for me, it's the games industry similar to the tech industry,
Yeah.
where there was a hiring boom in 2020, 2021. And now that things are evening out a little bit, a lot of people are losing their jobs. And I think to answer the follow-up question, I think AI, unfortunately, is leading to a lot of these layoffs too. A lot of companies may be thinking, oh, I don't need as many X people because maybe I can have AI do it for me. That sort of thing. And that's terrible for the industry.
Well, actually, I want to back up a little bit. What an Answer also said, I feel this combined with the implosion of esports. I want to comment on that. Do you guys remember like I'm not saying COVID is over, but like during the lockdowns, there was a lot of after the invest in GameStop shit happened.
Yeah.
A lot of people were like, dude, you got to invest in SLGG. You got to invest in these esports companies, and all of those stocks bombed.
They all failed. Yeah.
And so that esports has also not expanded in the way people thought. So I'm trying to. I don't want to say anything as fact. I think the word market correction is more appropriate right now than the game industry is going to crash. That's what I think. That's all I want to say on this. I'm not quite there yet that AI is replacing devs in video games. Like, I'm not there.
I'm not thinking like devs. I'm thinking artists, writers, that sort of thing.
You're gonna get a whole lot more procedurally generated crap. And I hope you're happy.
Yeah.
Riley, do you have anything else on this?
No, I just feel really bad, and I wish there was a better safety net for this kind of thing. And just I hope they land safely.
Yeah. Nick, anything you want me to move on?
Yeah, the last thing I want to add is kudos to one of our favorite developers right now, Larian Studios, who is actually hiring and posts that they are hiring right now amidst all the layoffs.
That's
good
a
for
well-managed company right there.
Good for them.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. The next person goes by Virtual Sincerity.
What a nice name.
What a nice name. You may have already covered this, but what's a game you both passionately disagree on? Also, what are your top 3 favorite games? I'm assuming they're referring to Riley versus Greg on this.
They are.
We will include Nick.
I remember this comment.
You gave this person shit for
I gave this person a little bit of grief. It was in joke. It was all in jest.
You misbehaved as an intern.
Okay, I thought it was funny. Yeah. But yes, I apologize for giving you a little grief. It was a joke on Instagram.
Yeah. Riley, I was actually...
Wait, what happened?
So this person posed the question as if Nick doesn't contribute to the show.
So I was like,
okay.
So
prize an
I
intern
think
or
what
something.
I think what this person wants is he or she or they want us to sort of, you and I, to sort of furrow our brows and get mad at each other. So here's the thing, Riley.
I'm not a performing monkey.
So here's the thing. I was because I had to write down all these questions. I thought about this a little. I can't think of a game where you and I are like, Greg, fuck you, or Riley, fuck you, you're wrong. I can think of one where it's close.
Ooh.
Do you remember? I think this is season 3. Someone can check my math. We covered, this is funny to me. Just see if you can guess. We covered 2 games by the same company.
Silent Hill 2 and MGS3.
Fuck yeah. You're right on it. Where I think Silent Hill 2 was one of the best things I've ever played, and you were a little lukewarm on it, and you're really into Metal Gear Solid 3, and I was a little lukewarm on it. Is that fair? How would you describe that spat? Not spat, but like disagreement in opinion.
Can I share my thoughts now?
Sure.
I think I totally see the appeal of Silent Hill 2, but you know what it is? Silent Hill 1 I loved because it felt like I was playing like a shitty broken game that was haunted. And then the second one is a more concerted effort to get the feels going. And I appreciate that, and I think it's a brilliant story, but a lot of the gameplay stuff was holding me back from enjoying it. And I think you felt the same way about MGS3. And it's harder because we both played the opposite one like years prior.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I think I brought that up during that episode where like you were very knowledgeable on Metal Gear Solid before you met me.
Right.
And I was very knowledgeable on Silent Hill, before we became friends. But then you played the Silent Hill games for the first time for the show.
Yeah.
And I played Metal Gear Solid for the first time, kind of, like
Yeah.
for the show. It's tricky. I think you're right. I don't want to dote on this too long, but I think it's similar where I was just more into Metal Gear Solid 2 than 3, and it didn't all land for me.
Yeah.
Nick,
I'm actually surprised at you two.
what happened?
You forgot a big one.
What's the
Rayman
big
2.
one?
Elden Ring.
Oh, that one.
Well, actually, can I quote Riley in a recent chat? Can I pull the curtain back?
Sure.
I don't remember the exact quote. I'm going to paraphrase. You said something like, "Were you being too much of like an angry old man or something?"
Yeah.
Like 30-year-old.
An angry idiot.
That was the quote.
And it's one of those things where I of course, like if I played it again, I'd probably be nicer to it. And it's just like that was my first my first reaction to it was maybe a little. No, I'm not going to say that. I stand by my words.
And I respect that you are. I respect
but
it. Yeah.
I acknowledge the artistry. I loved all the little characters you meet in it. There's stuff that I tell other people about who haven't played it yet. I was like, oh, this really cool thing is in that game.
Yeah.
So I'm not unreasonable, but it
That's me.
That's right.
The series just took a direction that I wasn't totally happy with.
We're not going to relitigate Elden Ring, but like the copied and pasted content and the copied and pasted bosses, we all hate that. But I think Nick and I digested it a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
But none of us like that.
Right.
Anyway, I believe our grades were A minus, B, and 6 out of 10, but we changed to grades, which I would say is like a C minus or C.
I give it a B minus.
Did you? Okay.
Yep.
So, Nick, I think those are good examples. Should I move on?
There's actually okay. I had one more for actually one for you, Riley, and one for you, Greg.
Okay.
Kind of. Riley, I think I'm more lukewarm on Rayman 2.
Right.
Yes,
you were.
you
And you are more lukewarm on Fire Emblem Path of Radiance than I am.
Yeah.
So those are the two I would disagree with
much
both
more
of you.
lukewarm on
Yes.
that than you.
That's it.
I just think it runs too slow.
That's fine.
I overheard some people on the street, believe it or not.
Like real life street, not
real
like
life
Reddit.
street
Whoa.
down in New Jersey. And they were talking about, they're like, I'm really into Fire Emblem.
Let's fucking go.
especially Radiant Dawn.
Let's go.
With the Wii one?
Radiant Dawn, underrated, man. Great game.
Wow.
That's a great
Oh,
one.
wait, I'm sorry. Fuck you to the
Oh
GameSpot reviewer who gave that game a 6 out of 10.
Oh, jeez.
That's a great game.
Oh, this guy again.
Let me
Yeah,
tell you,
yeah.
I'm going to say something very obnoxious. I'm a games journalist now too, buddy.
It's true.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you
We're
got to be fucking
unstoppable
afraid
now.
of me.
That's right.
Anyway, I'm
That's
just
right.
kidding. I'm mostly kidding.
Mostly
you don't
kidding.
have to be afraid of me, but I do disagree with that guy's opinion.
Radiant Dawn, great game.
anyway,
That person has good taste.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
I believe we're. Oh, is this Odor Albuquerque? Right,
Albuquerque?
something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Odor Albuquerque.
Odor Albuquerque.
Oh, I like it.
Nice. Okay, this is interesting. Your thoughts on PS5 being in the last stages of its life cycle, and what do we want to see from the PS6? What do we not want to see? Can I start?
Yeah.
I forgot we're in the last stages of the PS5 life cycle. Did it come out in 2018? It's 2019? Ooh, was it 2020? Am I getting old? It wasn't that long ago. Am I crazy?
It hasn't been 5 or I think it's been maybe 4 years.
I think it's 2020, right?
Is it 2020?
'Cause
Did it
was
come
all,
out
like,
during
the chip shortage? Was
Did it? Yeah.
the
Did it
same-
come out during like the height of COVID?
maybe
I think
maybe
so.
the holiday before.
slightly
it.
before?
Yeah.
Either way, it does not feel like a whole console generation. has passed.
I'm gonna debate. I don't know if we're actually in the last stages because it's selling so well. I am gonna say this. I think Sony has. I'm not. Nick, would you say they've hit a home run, or is it more of a triple at this point? Where like there's a lot of good exclusive games. They're dominating the market. Honestly, the PS5 looks like shit. It jiggles, and I can't believe it can wiggle if you put your finger on it. It's so fucking stupid.
I thought the belief was that there wasn't a lot of good.
So I think
Really?
what's going on here with PS5, right?
Go ahead.
This is what I'm going to say about PS5. I believe the console itself is kicking the Xbox's ass in terms
Yeah,
of sales.
Correct.
But the amount of exclusive games is actually very low.
Is it?
You've got, I can't name that many. You've got like Demon's Souls remake.
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man.
Final Fantasy 16, Poop.
Not even. It's gonna come off of exclusive sometime soon.
Yeah, I would count time
exclusive.
I would count that.
There are not that many big exclusive games that are exclusively on PS5, and a lot of, even up until like a year or so ago, they're being simultaneously made for PS4 too.
You're not wrong.
So I'm like thinking that, I'm not saying it's a failure commercially, but for me, it feels like it's a failure of a console generation.
Really?
Because like they haven't improved, like they're still making games for PS4.
I mean, it's
So-
been a weird couple of years,
Yeah.
to say the least.
Wait, am I higher on this than you guys? That
Here we
happened?
go. Back to the last
Then
question.
what?
Yeah.
Listen, I love my PS5. I think it's awesome. I think it's better than the PS4.
Do you know what,
What?
dude? Let me say this. I just don't like that the analog sticks are next to each other. I like when they're diagonal on the Xbox. I just
Hey,
like it better.
You know my thoughts on DualShock controllers. I hate them.
Hate them.
Yep.
Have we ever said that on the show? I hate them.
I think
Really?
they're the worst. Yeah.
Haptic feedback is cool. And
Yes.
You know what? I might put a pin in this person's question because it's an interesting thought. Perhaps this is rare, I'm being overly generous with them.
And for a second part of the question, what do we want to see from a PS6? I don't want to see it at all. Not for like 2 or 3 years at least.
I don't care about the graphics game.
Yeah.
I believe, I don't want to say this as fact, the human eye can only see about 8 or 9K. Like you can't, it really depends on how far away you are from the screen. There's some science behind it.
Yeah.
But I don't care about graphic fidelity. Everything already looks amazing. You got to keep churning out the games, dude. We need the meat and potatoes.
That's right.
What do you think, Riley? Hit me.
Yeah, no, you're right. and I don't know, because I've definitely liked whenever I've played the PS5. It seems like a great console physically.
It is. I like it a lot.
The performance seems great, but I don't know. I personally, I am starting to see a trend of away from exclusivity. What's that Nintendo and Microsoft thing that just happened?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You're
Right?
Yeah.
And what do you guys remember the specifics of that?
Man.
Dude, Zelda on Xbox confirmed.
Wait, I thought it was the opposite.
I'm joking.
Right?
That's what
Microsoft exclusives are coming to Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like you might see Halo on the Switch.
It's gonna
Maybe.
feel
Microsoft's
weird.
fucking struggling, dude. Like,
You know what?
But-
If they are struggling, it's a good idea for them.
You know what else it kind of puts into perspective too is that I don't know what the current Xbox is called.
Oh shit! What is it called?
the Xbox naming conventions are fucking
It's so
terrible.
bad.
So we never made it to 720, unfortunately. But in terms of, I feel like when you say PS4, PS5,
Yeah.
PS6, like you know it's going to be that.
Their naming
number.
conventions are awesome.
It's just
Simple.
it is what it is. It's time for a new era, right? It's
Yeah.
easy to track, and I
So-
think that's why it's more successful.
Is our consensus is we want to see a little more?
I think
before
I
we
want to
move-
see at least 2 or 3 more years of games that just come out for these new consoles.
Well,
Xbox
you know
too.
what it used to
Yeah.
be is that when a new console generation was come out, it was like this incredible tech presentation
Yeah.
of like, look what it's capable of, and I can't really tell the difference between the last two Xboxes.
The
not really.
differences in tech is diminishing returns.
Yeah.
Right.
When you went to the HD era of Xbox 360 and PS3, it looks incredible.
So
compared
it's
to what you
basically
had.
we're basically at the point where it's like a Sears laundry machine, like, and you got to get your new version.
I want to
of
say
the-
this too. I don't know if people on the show know this. I actually prefer to play something on Xbox if I had my choice.
Yeah.
Like I preferred the analog stick setup. I prefer the controller. You know what? I feel like I have all of my feet in all of the tubs. Like right now, I have one foot in, one foot out.
Yep.
Like
A lot of tubs.
I actually, you know what? Fuck exclusivity. You know what? I just want to play. People should just play shit on what they want.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I like playing things on Xbox, and I want to take the next question. Can we do that? Anything
Yes.
else?
I just want to say that I agree specifically with the controller aspect.
Yeah.
I just got the what is the Elite bullshit, whatever,
Yeah.
that has like you can put buttons on the back and stuff
Ooh,
like
cool.
that. I always if I can plug that into my PC to play stuff.
Yes.
So
I love
I
that.
like the feeling as well.
So this next person, they are a very frequent commenter, Jake SKE60. In his words, he, she, they. Y'all got to do Dragon Age and Coda reviews, but mainly Dragon Age. I need someone to validate my opinion on those games. I need someone to validate my opinion on those games. Only got shittier as they went on. Love the podcast, Greg. Your opinions are honestly goated.
Love it. That's amazing.
So number one,
Frame that.
Yeah, thank you for the ego boost. Like I promise, everything on the show is very well researched, and like maybe we come across as harsh, but like I think we just take stuff seriously. To answer this person's question, y'all got to do Dragon Age and Coda. I need to reread this one. Nick, speak on this because you have opinions.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to speak now? Oh,
I need to read this again, but you're going
All
to
right.
speak right now.
okay. I mean, hey, I would love to do a Dragon Age retrospective. I mean, I think Greg, we both have the same opinion on BioWare games, where the first one is this quirky, really cool experience. The second one plays better, but is kind of shittier overall. And the third one is a weird mix of the first two.
You took the words out of my mouth. So this person said, I need someone to validate my opinion that those games only got shittier as they went on. Well, congratulations. You're right.
There we go. Yeah. Dragon Age Origins kicks ass.
Yeah.
That's a great game.
I think us covering Dragon Age is definitely maybe. Oasis, how you doing? So maybe. We might. And then again, Coders, maybe.
Wait,
Yep.
so do you guys think 3 is worse than 2?
No.
We have, you know what? Sorry, we got to wait for the
That's
retrospective.
spoilers.
Cool, congratulations. Now you're
Yeah.
going to make us do it.
Yeah, you can make me play 2 and 3 again. Oh man.
Okay, let's just go. We'll move on from this in a minute, but like we talked about Knights of the Old Republic already in this Q&A. We might do it. Dragon Age, I will make this person feel better that I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
I am going to kind of validate you, but I'd prefer to do a retrospective in full to break it all down. Okay, let's move on. That was Riley shaking his head in an audio-only session. So the next question is from someone named Sam is Always Here. the question is very simple. Should a Just Cause 5 exist? In my opinion, I don't care about those games, so no.
I forgot they existed until I read this question, to be honest.
I will give you a very soft answer, which is if the game is made by people who get employed and then it makes money and then people like it, I won't yuck your yum, but I'm not going to play it. Riley?
Why not?
I don't have any interest in
I
them.
didn't know there were 4.
It wasn't the 4th one really poorly received?
Last I heard was 3, and I think people like that one.
Okay.
I don't
Didn't say
know.
anything about
I
them.
say why not?
Okay.
I have no horse in the race.
Nick, any horse in this one?
0.
Okay. Murphy KYL, hello. This is a great one. And I would really like to take this one first before you guys comment, if you don't mind. The question is, should I really finish playing Last of Us 2? I think I'm about halfway. Or should I just listen to your podcast episode on it instead? Well, they said, should I listen to your podcast instead? I'm assuming they mean, should they listen to our episode? I will start this off with a joke. If you listen to our podcast episode, you will definitely not want to finish it. You will definitely not want to finish the game if you do. So my recommendation is actually to finish it and see if you agree with us. Riley?
Yeah, well, I would also say that if you're having a hard time with it, with the content, I think it only gets more severe.
Yeah.
So that might be something to think about. I think our feelings on that game are well documented at this
Yes.
point. It's everything about the technical aspects are incredible. The content
Is not.
it's rough, but
Yeah.
let us know what you think if you finish it.
Nick, anything?
My only comment here, because I'm not going to play Last of Us 2, is if anybody asks me, should I just listen to your podcast? I say yes. You should always listen to our podcast.
That's right.
So
Good
the only
business.
thing is, I'm going to move on, but I think John Manning gave that game a real tongue lashing. I
He
think,
really
right?
did. Yeah,
he really
he
did. Shout out to John. We love you. So the next question, this person's name is Sell Your Soul, SOL.
Ooh.
The question is, it's been a hot game recently. Have you fellas played Helldivers 2 or possibly the original? The answer to both those questions for me is no. Riley?
No, but you know what it reminded me of? Do you remember that Medal of Honor game? It was like mid-aughts where
Yeah.
you did that. You kind of just paratrooped.
Like Medal of Honor Airborne
Is
and
that
stuff
what it's
like
called? Yeah. I always thought it was a really cool idea. And it basically all this Helldivers stuff has just made me really angry that they didn't make an ODST version.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it would have worked perfectly. But no, it looks really cool. I'm glad people are having fun with it.
Nick?
Same thing as Riley. Seems like people really like Helldivers 2. I didn't know there was a Helldivers 1 until Helldivers 2 came out. So there's there you go.
We're going to move on. So this one's really funny. I can't wait to read this one. So BowenKigs.mnt, they ask, are there any plans to give more N64 games dedicated episodes in the future? Also, have any of you played Mystical Ninja starring Goemon? Amazing N64 hidden gem. You bet your ass I have. The next part is, Greg, sometimes I think you say stupid ass shit, but wow, I have never enjoyed you and the others talking about video games this much. Goddamn Gamecube is my comfort podcast.
Thank you.
That's so funny.
Glad our pain gives you comfort.
Yeah, what is this? Greg, sometimes I think you say stupid ass shit.
That's
He's
going on
right.
the wall.
That's going on the wall. So I'd like to answer this one first. So listen, I'm not making fun of this user. They love our show. I think I referenced Mystical Ninja twice this season. I think it was twice. Have any of you played Mystical Ninja? I have.
I have too.
Did you beat it?
I don't know if yes.
Yeah.
I remember getting really angry at the final boss, but I did end up beating
Riley,
it.
did you play it?
No.
It's a great game, actually.
Are we going to cover more N64 games?
We probably should.
I want to cover Perfect Dark,
Okay.
Ooh, Perfect Dark's a great one.
and my joke answer is Glover.
Nice.
Can we wait?
Can we do it anyway?
Unironically, I would like to.
I like how people are really asking us to cover Coder and Dragon. We're like, dude, Glover.
I was
That's
going to
the
say
show.
Quest 64, but
We already did.
You already did.
We did an
it.
April Fool's. We do an actual retrospective that gets no views.
It would be 0.
Zero. That's a great question. I would say, are we going to cover N64 games? The answer to that question is yes. There are some we have on a list, but I can't give you a time frame on when, but there are a few on there.
Mhm.
We're going to move on. Is that cool?
I think this is a repeat.
Yep. So there was a typo by me. We'll just shout out Jake SKE60 again. I wrote your question twice by mistake, but thank you. Okay, next. SB Brown 2, also a frequent commenter. First, thanks for the content y'all make. Goddamn Gamecube is the best retrospective podcast around. That's very nice. Your podcast inspired me to play all the mainline Resident Evil games this year. My condolences.
I love that.
Wow.
That being said, what are your hopes for RE9, especially considering it has the highest budget of any Resident Evil in history? Also, thoughts on a goddamn GameCube Patreon or Discord. Before, Riley, I want you to start. However, we answered the Patreon and Discord question. If you want to contribute via support on Spotify, you will get the Discord link. Riley, go. Resident Evil 9. I know you're smirking. Go. Say it.
It's gonna be so fucking bad. It's so funny, like, especially considering it has the biggest budget of any RE in history. What it calls to mind is 6.
Yeah.
Where that was also the case. And, you know, more dollars means better game, right?
Oof.
Yeah, like Final Fantasy 16.
Oof.
You know what kills me is that we're going to see that first teaser and it's going to be like, oh, god damn, they fucking got me.
Yeah.
I need to see it.
Yeah.
You know, play the music,
The RE8
whatever.
teaser was really good.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. What are my hopes for RE9? I don't have a lot of hope for it.
Ouch.
Because in my opinion, like the whole Ethan and Rose thing sucks.
Well,
like
that too, but also the way they left it, it's like 15 years after Resident Evil 8.
wait, oh my God. Didn't they tease 9 at the end of 8? Isn't there like a graveyard scene with Rose? And people are like, oh, we got her. There's some like FBI
But
shit.
I don't even know if that's going to come to fruition.
I'm sorry to say to SB Brown, our hopes are minimal.
Here's a good question.
Go ahead.
Two-parter.
Uh-oh.
Number one, do you think it's going to be FPS or third person?
That's a great question.
Number two, do you think they're going to go to space?
The answer to part 2 is no. The answer to part 1, that is a great fucking question. I think it's going to be first person and the remakes are staying over the shoulder.
Because it was interesting that they re-released 8 as third person.
They did?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's right, they did do that.
Interesting.
Can I answer your second question, Riley? Should they go to space? Yes, you should always go to space.
They haven't done it yet.
But they should.
But someone did it better. Someone did Dead Space.
Ah, shit.
I thought you were going to say Paper Mario. I was like, yeah, you got me.
Got him.
Well, damn, Dead Space, you're
All
right.
right, let's move on. The next question is by someone who goes by Concepts Unity. My friends and I love your podcast. Tell more of your friends. Everybody listening, if you have friends, tell them. So thanks for everything you do. I absolutely love your episode on the first Assassin's Creed. So do we. Any plans on covering the others in the series? It would be neat hearing your thoughts on the gameplay elements of the new ones. Riley, on the count of 3, are we going to cover any more Assassin's Creed? 1, 2, 3.
No.
I was going to say, please don't make me play these.
We were going to do that YouTube exclusive. We may still do it where we talk about them sight unseen, like if you're interested in them.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard like that is interesting because I heard that the later ones get like RPG-esque.
They're so bad.
Really?
They're so bad.
Well,
Yeah, I'll give you the retrospective right now. Dude, they're so bad.
no, but I appreciate the question for sure.
Yeah.
I think the first Assassin's Creed is just a really unique game.
Mm.
I think the rest are probably just kind of like comfort games. If I like the ones that I've played are kind of just like, I'm really burnt out after work. Let's just roll.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? This person took the time to ask us the question, so I'll give this person 30 seconds on it right now.
Of course.
The first one is interesting. The second one plays better. Brotherhood is fine. I would say Revelations is also fine, and then it becomes a disaster.
People like the Black Flag, though.
I do not like it. I like
love
the
it.
sea shanties, though. They're cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm ready to move on.
Mm-hmm.
Spotify, person named Kyle. What is the best thing about gaming in 2023? We'll answer it as if it's 24. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And because we have a fiscal show, not a
Yes.
calendar. And what is the worst thing about gaming in 2023? God damn it.
Wow.
What's the worst? Guys, what's the worst?
Okay.
You go ahead, but I have one.
The worst thing is that every game is 200 fucking hours long. The best thing about it is that we now have access to virtually everything, like fairly easily.
Okay. I mean, I was going to say the worst thing about gaming is games as service. Like, you know, whether pick a game, pick a type. Companies saying we don't want to invest in single player games. We want to do battle royale and all this kind of stuff. I mean, okay. Oh, you know what? I'm going to be more succinct. I should be that on this show. What I don't like about gaming in 2023 is the, I'm putting up my hands here, I'm going to use the word polarization or the gap between AAA and indie keeps getting bigger. We have $300 million dog shit and persons slaved over a game in their bedroom that I wish had a bigger scope. Right? There isn't enough AA game anymore.
It's
Nick and I
happening
talk
with
about
movies
this.
too.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, I think all of us have talked about this on the show. I just miss AA games and they may not come back.
Yeah.
It might be like misplaced hope, I guess. But what is the best thing about games in 2023? I really don't know. Okay. I made pile on Riley's answer. It could just be that like we're older and have more disposable income, but I feel like games are more accessible. I can play everything easier. I'm not sure if that comes down to money or availability.
If I'm being like problematic about, Game Pass, like about subscribing to it, but there's like so much shit on there.
Yeah. I don't know how to answer best, but this is also like, it tends to be a negative leaning show. So Nick, go ahead.
Let's see. So for me, God, the worst thing about gaming in 2023, I mean, I think I'm going to go with these massive budgets, but not going to the right places.
Right.
Like we've talked about Final Fantasy 16 to death, but it's very clear the budget didn't go to things that the game actually needed.
Yeah.
So that's what my least favorite part of gaming in 2023 to 2024. The best thing about it, accessibility is better than ever.
Yep.
Which is nice. And I do think there is a lot of love being given to more single player experiences these days, especially at award shows. Alan Wake 2 and Baldur's Gate 3 took home most of the awards. And if we're going back to last year, Elden Ring and God of War Ragnarok took home most of those awards too.
Can I answer this question in a funny way?
Yeah.
What was my favorite thing about gaming in 2023? It's Baldur's Gate 3, but I haven't played it yet. Like, I think that's what everyone says.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right?
I'm glad Jeff Keighley is getting some praise.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, he just got dragged over the coals recently because of the layoff stuff.
Oh,
But,
really?
Yeah, I don't know. He's doing his best. I don't know. Is
Anyway.
he? I don't know. I don't know him.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll meet him
In November.
Yeah,
We'll see. So I'm not sure if this is the same Kyle for the next question, so I'm going to read it anyway. In your opinion, can games ever go too far? And is there an instance for you where a game did go too far? Is it okay if I start?
Yeah.
I saw an interesting clip from Jon Stewart, Daily Show. Where someone in the audience asked him this question, but it wasn't related to video games. It was related to comedy.
Is this recent or?
It's in the past 10
ago?
years.
Oh, okay.
They said, can comedians ever go too far? And Jon Stewart's answer was no, because life doesn't pull any punches. That was an interesting answer. So here's what I'm going to say. In theory, can games ever go too far? I'm saying in theory. The answer is no. You can make whatever you want. However, there's no accounting for taste. You could make something distasteful and bad. I'm going to give you a very good example. Why is the Call of Duty no Russian airport terrorist mission in the game if it warns you that it might be offensive and you can skip it? They should have just cut it. Like, it doesn't add anything to the game.
Yeah.
So did it go too far? Yeah, because if you really were that committed to it, why can you cut it? They were clearly worried, right?
Yeah.
Do you have an answer for this?
Can they go to, and I mean, I'm assuming this is like morally, can they go too far? Yeah, of course they can go too far. It's just, it's just really what your kind of metric for that is. You know?
I mean,
like,
my answer is, can they go too far? Like, no, but should you, right? You know what I mean? Like, you got to know where the taste is or where the moral line is, right?
I mean, for me, I think that like if you portrayed something tastelessly, it's just like, well, fuck this.
Yeah, I know.
The further back you go, the more you'll see it. I don't know. It's not something that I've encountered very recently.
Well, I got to say this too. There is the ESRB. Like, if you make a game that is decidedly tasteless, your game will not come out. Like, you'll only find it on the unpublished indie, like, porn games on Steam.
Right.
Like, your game will not be on a retail shelf. Like, you'll get blocked. So, like, that... I never compliment the ESRB. So, that well, there is kind of a system in place for this.
You used to get that discourse about, like, GTA. About, like, oh, you can just shoot a prostitute on the street. You know, like, that kind of question. But I feel like it hasn't come up recently.
No. Nick?
I guess for me, I have a pretty high threshold for content in a game that I can handle. Like, it's not, now granted, I haven't played anything like The Last of Us 2. Who knows if that would get to me, but so I would say, can games go too far? I would say if there was no system in place to like allow them to do that. Like if a game came out that was just hateful, and think of anything that's just, in general, you said it, Greg, distasteful.
Yeah, like Manhunt and Postal got in trouble for this stuff, but that was 20 years ago.
Yeah. So I think maybe if a game like that came out, then yes, it would be going too far. But the second part of this question, is there an instance for you where a game did go too far? I say no, because generally my threshold is pretty high. I might say, oh, it's kind of gross, but it wouldn't stop me from playing it.
This is an opinion-based show. There's stuff in games we don't like.
Yeah.
Example, I don't like that Persona 5 like pokes fun at the LGBT community, right?
Yeah.
I don't like it, and I'm surprised it was localized that way.
A lot of stuff in DMC, like Devil May Cry.
Yeah, it kind of rubs me the wrong way. But
Wolfenstein, just like,
it's
those
like
Rayman 3 jokes.
Yeah.
Sicko stuff.
It's like, listen, it's an opinion-based show. You can make stuff like that. You're going to get a bad review from us.
That's
Like, anyway, let's move on.
Yeah. Depressing question.
It's actually a good episode topic. So thank you, Kyle. Sam Brown, also a frequent commenter. Which 2023 release pushed the industry forward the most in terms of innovation? God damn it, this is a good question. Sometimes these Q&As are tricky because they can't prepare. Ooh, innovation.
Can I think out loud for a second?
Sure.
All right, so I mean, the answer that I want to say is Baldur's Gate 3, but I'm not sure how much it actually innovated rather than it just being really good.
It's just Divinity with a different title. I haven't played it, but it looks like that, and I can't wait.
Yeah.
But,
people say Alan Wake.
Yeah,
there's a lot of like fourth wall stuff.
People have said that.
Yeah, that I might go with Alan Wake 2, even though it may be a game I will never play.
Riley, do you have anything that comes to mind? This is a great question, but we can't prepare for a question like this.
Well, in terms of what else came out, Resident Evil 4 didn't really innovate.
Oh, was it Inscription this year or 2023?
That might have been
deck
last
building
year.
game that's actually a horror game. Spoiler.
That might have been 2022.
It could have been 22.
Yeah. You know what I will say? Okay. Despite how much we dogged on Final Fantasy 16, they did have some cool technical
I just rolled my eyes in an
I
audio
know.
session. Go ahead.
I know, but they did some stuff that I've never seen before, like the real-time pause menu stuff. Like it doesn't mean anything like for gameplay wise, but it's something I've never seen before.
I was trying to make a joke like something like I've never seen before a $300 million game that was this bad, but I have.
So I don't know. That's a tough question for innovation.
It's a great question.
Yeah. 2023, I think, was a good year for new games, but I'm not sure how much they pushed the industry forward.
Sam Brown, tell us what yours is.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
I might go with Alan Wake 2. That might be my answer.
You guys want to move on?
Yeah.
Riley Huxford, when are you guys going to cover Alan Wake?
Okay.
Love the show. We are going to do it. Riley, we can pull back the curtain, I think, right? We're most likely going to do it next season, season 6. Any comments?
It's crazy because Alan Wake is something that until last year I thought was going to be lost to the annals of history. And it maybe would have been one of those, hey, Greg, you remember Alan Wake? You want to do an episode on those just for fun?
I'll say this before we move on. I can't believe Alan Wake 2 is out.
Yeah.
It's like 14 years later.
And it's commercially very successful too.
I did that shit in high school and I thought it was Anyway, spoiler. So let's move on. Hal Graham, keep up the good work, you guys. Question, with the rise of Baldur's Gate 3, do you believe we will see a shift towards more dynamic and less on rails experiences, or are we doomed to video game movies forever? LOL. No. So Baldur's Gate 3 is a very unique anomaly in games. Who has the luxury to take 7 years to make an RPG that's like 400 billion hours long? Not many people. There aren't many developers who have that luxury. No one has that kind of budget. I'm happy that Baldur's Gate 3 did really well and is continuing to do well because blah, blah, blah. It will push investors to invest in those kind of games because people like them. You can't expect people to take 7 years to make a game. Like, you can't. That's what I think about this. Are we doomed for video game movies forever? Unfortunately. Yeah. Well, no, I think we're doomed for games that are games of service or fucking battle royale shit, like games that are just walking advertisements for Bank of America, like that kind of shit. Riley, do you have anything on this?
No, I think it's tough because while I disliked playing Elden Ring, I like what it represents.
Yeah, sure.
And I like I haven't played this game, but I like what it represents too. And this is pretty cool, which I would say it also applies to movies where the stories themselves aren't really like the appeal. It's like the care. People really like Top Gun was huge. The people really like that. Like, oh, this is unique. They clearly put a lot of effort into this, and it's hard to imagine these studios taking the wrong lessons from that, because that is what is the appeal. I'm sure they'll try. They're like, oh, well, people really want like more Dungeons and Dragons stuff or whatever, and like that kind of thing. But I think it does when these kind of games perform well financially and they get all the awards attention. I think it does put the lazy bones developers into a little bit of a tight spot where it's like, okay, well, we actually do have to like look at how fucking much work they put into that.
Can I make one correction to what you said? I would say more lazy bones publishers are dudes who give people the money. In terms of like just what is going to scrape by. Sure.
It's like we should finish the game before it's released.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, my opinion here is specifically relating to Baldur's Gate 3. There's always going to be copycats, right?
Yeah.
People are going to see essentially, not turn-based, but you know what I mean? That kind of game just won Game of the Year pretty much by a landslide.
Yeah, CRPG won Game of the Year.
Yeah. When's the last time that happened? Ever? I don't know.
Probably Diablo.
Right.
It's not a CRPG. I'm sorry. Keep going.
But I think there's going to be some copycats, and I think we're going to see some games like it. Maybe not from the big dogs, but I think maybe the indie scene
from the cats.
We'll start making some stuff like it. And you know what? I'd be interested to see it because I like those kinds of games.
I think you guys are not wrong. I just think people don't have the budget to make that kind of game.
Maybe I'm just more hopeful.
No, that's okay. I just think realistically, I don't foresee publishers allowing 7-year dev time to make these kind of games.
Well, I'm saying indie too,
where
they kind of set their own schedule.
Let's move on. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, Hayden asks, hey guys, I recently started listening to the show and I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Not sure if you've ever heard of The Walking Dead Survival Instinct. I have. If not, I recommend it for the show, but be warned, it's bad. I actually know stuff about this game. Does anyone else?
I've heard about it and I've heard it's terrible.
So this is unfortunately, this was Norman Reedus picking a bad video game role.
Oh, man.
And what's really unfortunate is The Walking Dead Survival Instinct came out at the same time as Telltale.
Oh, wow.
So I think I was still a GameStop employee when this game came out, and I was telling people, they came in and said, I want to play a Walking Dead game, and they pick up the first-person shooter Norman Reedus one. I said, don't play it. Mm-hmm. You should play the story-based one by Telltale. Mm-hmm. And this game, I know this game is incredibly bad. I can tell Hayden I never want to say never, we're most likely not going to cover it, but Walking Dead Survival Instinct is very bad. I am aware. Anyone have anything else?
No, it might be fun to cover a really bad game, but...
Oh, I'm doing Vampire Rain before we do that.
A huge, like all our worst games.
Yeah.
How about that? That'd
Vampire Rain, we got to do it. It's so fucking funny.
No.
All right.
Okay.
This is so good. Brandon Thompson, I don't know who you are, but this is a great question. Marry, fuck, kill, Solid Snake, Gabe Logan, Sam Fisher. That's awesome.
Wow.
Okay.
Can I ask something stupid?
Yes.
Who's Gabe Logan?
I believe that is Siphon Filter.
I was going to ask that too.
I think it's Siphon Filter. I believe it's also the name of a Rainbow Six character, but I don't think he's referencing Gabe from Rainbow Six.
Oh, interesting.
I think it is Siphon Filter.
I've never heard of that.
So here we go. This is so good. I think I am going. Who's the most attractive on this list?
Actually, we got to think about which version of Solid Snake.
Let's go word by word. Okay. Who are we marrying? Do you go Gabe Logan because Sam Fisher is really good at killing people, and Solid Snake, you don't know if it's a clone or not. Can't trust him.
I can't marry someone I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know Gabe Logan at all.
Are we killing Gabe Logan?
I have to kill him.
Are we killing Gabe?
Wait, are we all agreeing on one thing? Is that what we're doing
here? Are we killing Gabe Logan?
I'm killing him.
Yeah.
You don't have to kill him if you don't want to.
He's dead.
He's dead? Okay.
Me personally.
I'm personally killing him.
We're killing
also.
Gabe Logan. Who are we marrying? I think it's more realistic to marry Sam Fisher. Like, realistic character, real life, no superpowers, no clones, no anime shit.
Yeah.
Like, you just fucking... God, I would question his voting record. God damn it.
Okay.
If you marry one of the snakes, that's a life. That's a hell of a life, man.
I think you know what? I think you know what you got to do? You got to fuck Snake just like Metal Gear Solid 3. You got to fuck him and leave him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, why not?
So, all right. So, are we killing Gabe Logan, fucking Solid Snake, and marrying Sam Fisher?
Yes, but I fucked up though. Like,
Oh, did you?
in Metal Gear Solid 3, which Snake are you? Are you boss?
Naked Snake, big boss.
I'm saying, okay, we're fucking Snake, we're killing Gabe, we're marrying Sam, even though I'm scared of his voting record in my house. All right, let's keep going.
That's a funny question. Good work.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, from Kate Knowles. Have you played any of the Paper Mario games?
No.
I want to I want to make sure Kate knows this. I pinned your question on Spotify because I knew the next week we were releasing Paper Mario.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right. This
geez.
question came in right before.
So
Yeah.
I pulled a meme on you on purpose. Yeah. Oh God. We're only gonna do 30 seconds. Yes, we've played Paper Mario, and this is maybe one of the last times I'm ever gonna talk about this on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Paper Mario, there are only 2 games, and the rest of them are dog shit. Like the franchise doesn't exist after Thousand Year Door. Thank you.
That's about it.
Anyone
Yep.
else?
Nope. That sums it up.
All right. Actually, I'm sorry, Kate, if you like any of the other ones. I'm not that sorry. Here we go. J Brame 22. What are your thoughts on the Armored Core franchise? I don't have any. I've never played them. I don't like mech games. My interest is low. Anyone else? Nick?
Same thing here. I'm not really into mechs. I mean, I famously quit a game I put 60 hours into because it introduced a mech mechanic. I just didn't want to do it. Xenoblade X.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, famously I did that. I appreciate that Armored Core exists, and I appreciate that FromSoft went back to it after the colossal success that was Elden Ring. It's such a different
give me
game.
Kingsfield, you fucking cowards.
I
Riley?
heard 6 was very well received
Yes.
by the fans.
Just not
which
as
is-
popular.
Yeah.
I think our interest in it is low.
Yeah, but I appreciate that it's out, and I appreciate that people liked it.
It's a maybe someday series for me.
Yeah.
We're going to move on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Kyle, you can erase 3 games from your memory so you can experience them again for the first time. Maybe we'll pick one. For me, it's got to be. Oh, you know what? Maybe I can do 3 right off the bat. I think I have them.
Do it.
Dark Souls, Silent Hill 2, Metal Gear Solid 2. Done. Anyone else?
Sure, I can go first. So, 3 games. I'm gonna go Dark Souls 1.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go Final Fantasy 6,
Nice.
and I might go Path of Radiance. It's a Fire Emblem game. It's
Okay.
either 7 or 9, but it's
Okay.
one of those 2. That's what I'm going with.
Riley?
I'm thinking like more story oriented stuff.
Sure.
That's what I thought of too.
So maybe I'd say KOTOR 1,
Mm-hmm.
Mass Effect 1, and
I went Dark Souls because of just the overwhelming amount of mystery and discovery I thought was just awesome.
yeah, that
None
is
of us said
great.
Oblivion? Wow.
Because I don't know.
Oblivion is forever in my heart. Don't need to.
I think Oblivion is like evergreen. Like there's always it always feels fresh to me. Third one, I don't know, maybe BioShock. First one.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
You know what? That's a great answer because I said this on the episode. I played it when I was too young. Like I
Yeah.
didn't get it. I'm like, this is a weird game with a wrench. Like
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I didn't understand politics at like 12 years old, or whatever, 13. I keep like making myself younger when I talk about that game. I think I was 14. Okay, Liam Bedford, 17. Will you ever cover any games by Arcane Studios?
Hey.
Love the show. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Maybe. I have
Who
a
is
lot.
that?
That's Dishonored and that really shitty game Deathloop. That game
Oh,
fucking blows.
so we have an episode on
technically-
Deathloop.
Yeah.
So we might cover Dishonored. Riley and I have talked about it. I've actually talked to you like I've talked you down from like you saying never to you saying maybe. Do you remember this?
I never said never.
You said something to me like I'm paraphrasing. You said something to me like it looks stupid, like Dishonored. You said that to me.
I'm just not. Whereas as Bloodborne avoided this pothole, Dishonored seems to have stepped firmly into the "Oi, Mister, you me mum" kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm open to it. I'll play it.
So
Play both.
yeah. Honestly, quick fire thoughts. We might do it. I have played most of their games, so we might do it. Deathloop is really bad. Brian Clark. When do you think we will get Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn in the eStore?
It's like this question was written for me.
Nick, I mean, to be honest, like I thought maybe he would say something like a remake or a sequel. eStore.
So like make it. So like they make it. GameCube.
Make it easier to obtain.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, yeah, they either need a remake or they need to put it on the eShop because I don't know if you've checked eBay prices recently to try and get these 2 games. They're exorbitant.
Dude,
So-
my friend James, not the one that we know,
Yeah.
just spent $300-something on Path of Radiance. Pogo, don't do that.
Oh, dude, no, we have ways.
We got ways.
to
You know what though?
counteract
I
that.
appreciate I don't know why I'm bringing up this friend on the show.
Yeah.
I said that to him. He was very committed to me, where he said, I don't mean romantically. He said to me, he does not play gaming preservation. He wants it on the disc straight up.
Hey,
I
fair
said,
enough.
okay, good
That's
for
an
you. If you've
expensive
got
game
that
to play.
income, go do it.
You know what? I love that game. I don't know if any game is worth over $300, no matter how much I love it.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? Answer this question. When do we think I'll get it? I don't think we'll ever get it.
Never.
I think we're sooner to getting a remake than getting it on the eShop.
Correct. Kevin Trekker asks, do you guys play the Remnant games? And if so, will you ever be covering them? Thank you for the hard work on the podcast. And on the fantastic podcast,
Thank
he
you.
said. I actually don't know what he's talking about.
He's talking about Remnant from the Ashes?
Is he? Or I thought he was talking about like shit.
I thought maybe Remnant from the Ashes.
He's not talking about the last Remnant, is he? Shit. Honestly, the answer is no, because I actually don't know what you're referring to.
If he's referring to Remnant from the Ashes, I actually heard at least one of those games was pretty good. I think one of my friends was really into one of them for a while.
Riley, any knowledge?
No, but I did want to say thank you for the comment about the
Yes.
hard work on the fantastic podcast.
And also say this, if anyone, I'm not saying like I'm an encyclopedia on games, but when someone suggests a game and I don't know what they're talking about, I appreciate the suggestion because
Yeah.
I kind of missed it. So I always appreciate things that I miss. Let's move on. Frost Stream the NPC. Frost's Stream the NPC. He, she, they asks, how did you end up starting the podcast and which one of you got the idea? Okay, Nick, I'm going to start if that's okay.
Yes.
To me, the podcast came from 3 places. And I don't know who I want to speak on this next. Dealer's choice. Nick, I need to address you first.
Please.
Please. The podcast for me came from 3 places. This is kind of sad.
Oh. Okay.
You and I actually had a Game Boy Advance nostalgia discussion when we were on our way to our aunt's celebration of life.
Yes,
in
we did.
2019.
That was what, 2-hour car ride?
It's a
Something like
year
that?
before the show started.
Yeah.
You and I had essentially a 2-hour discussion on the Game Boy Advance, and I said to you in the car, man, I wish we recorded that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have.
We did a couple years later.
Literally a year later. And Riley, I'm now going to turn it to you. I remember, do you remember when you made what I called the Riley groups on Facebook, where like you made a gaming discussion group and a movie discussion group? We got a lot of our friends to join. We had like 50 or 60 people going at one point. And what I kept saying to Riley, I'm like, maybe we should just do this for real. Like maybe we should just have these discussions. And correct me if I'm wrong, Riley, this is going to go to you next. From what I remember, Nick and I had that discussion about Game Boy Advance. I said it to you. You originally weren't sure if you wanted to do it. Do you remember like what gave you like the confidence to want to start it? Can you talk next?
I think I really liked the YouTuber Matthew Matosis.
Yes.
I think he was one of the only people, because everyone has a channel now and kind of their own opinions, but as far as the tone and the way he got into games and the granular level of detail or like little things he liked, I liked that a lot. But he kind of slowed down and seems to maybe have stopped. And I just kind of like, I really liked engaging in discussing them in such a critical way. Like I sent you some of his videos, like you got to see this guy, right? And then it's kind of just like, well, we have deep discussions. We could start recording some of those and look at us now. 125 episodes.
Yeah. Is this 125-ish?
Yeah, it is. Not counting YouTube exclusives, but yes.
Yeah. And so I think about a year after that discussion, we started it.
Yeah. You know what we're going to do? We should cross-reference this when someone asks us this exact same question on the season 4 finale. We should see if our answers differ.
That's funny. No, I think the question last year was, where'd you get the name?
Oh, you're right.
Okay. And Kyle Boswell.
Oh, hi, Kyle.
Has Riley played Persona 5 Royal yet? He's gonna love it.
Is that sarcasm?
Be careful.
Yeah.
Been a long time listener, and you all keep getting better and better. Thank you for what you do. Riley, this is your ball game, dude. Go ahead.
I haven't played it yet. I don't know if I want to jump right into it or do I want to play some of the other ones. Everyone's really into what, 3 or 4 right now?
3, and it just
3
got
just came out.
re-released.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, we've actually not played Royal. We played the base game Persona 5.
And past Greg said Persona 5 was perfect.
Yeah.
It's fucking close.
It's awesome, but a Riley game, I would not say so.
No.
But
Why not?
turn-based. turn-based RPG. It's like, I know it's not really your thing.
I'll always put a good foot forward, but
I do think the story is very good.
It's cool.
That's what I'm into.
It's cool. It's
So-
cool. It's a cool game. Just if you're not into turn-based stuff,
if we're
tough.
not on a tight schedule, I'll probably love it.
It's also really long.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Royal is
that's
easily
a
over 100.
hundy.
Yeah.
I think my game time Persona 5 vanilla was 80.
Yeah, and
crazy.
counting for Royal, it's easily over 100.
So JS Scott or J Scott, this person asks, that was an amazing end skit with the dagger. Any chance for more skits in the future? I know the dagger is a unique concept, but there's a lot of stuff out there. Where's the Quest 64
See?
retrospective?
They want it.
Hold on. What is he? What is this person referencing?
When we did the time travel thing at the end of the Prince of Persia episode,
yes,
it
That
came
was
to me on the drive over. I was
That's
like, we should
amazing.
definitely
That was
do
Riley's
this.
idea. He came to me and he said, dude, what if we did like a skit? I was originally lukewarm. I was
Yeah.
like, we got to see how it goes.
Yeah.
And the production elements worked out about reversing the takes
was
and
actually
all that
awesome.
kind of stuff. And I appreciate that person, do you know what this means? This person listened all the way to the end.
Yes.
To the
Yes.
final minute.
That's right.
So thank you for doing that. Where's the Quest 64 retrospective? Let's fucking go.
Hey,
Like,
you know what? I would do it. I do.
I would fucking do it.
Yeah, let's do
Like,
it. I think it'd be fun.
Or I would do it as if we ever did a series about we do an underrated gem series occasionally.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can go that far with Quest 64, but I might say like a game that might have done better now.
Are you able to talk at all about what you're currently up to with that? Like, you've kind of made connections with the fan community.
So yeah, let's talk about that. So there is currently a Quest 64 Unity remake coming.
Very cool.
Made by fans.
Very cool.
I have connected with that community and I've expressed my support, and I've also expressed they can use my audio tools in my time. I will work on this.
Cool.
So I can't say any more now, but there is, if you can fucking believe this, there is a Quest 64 community.
I love that.
And they are
That's
working
awesome.
on a remake, and it's so cute.
I love it.
It's like,
love it.
I like Quest 64. I think it's pretty good.
Sometimes I have dreams about a sequel where I'm like I kind
Quest
of
65.
65,
I'm not
baby.
joking. Where I have like these like actual dreams where I think about the mechanics and how I change them. Anyway,
cool.
let's keep going. Sam Brown, favorite game you played in 2023, and what are you looking forward to the most in 24? So this is not specifically a game that came out in 23.
Game that we played.
Ooh,
I can go first if
Sure.
you want. Yeah, I didn't play too many games in 2023. It just was not a big gaming year for me. Say what you will about the games I played, but unfortunately, the best game I played was probably Fire Emblem Engage.
ouch.
Unfortunately, because I was looking at my track record in 2023. It was Fire Emblem Engage, Pokemon Scarlet, Resident Evil 4 Remake, and Final Fantasy 16 was really what I played in 2023.
Wow.
Wait,
And I'm not a huge Resident Evil guy.
I didn't know you played Pokemon. Was that as bad as everybody said it was?
I played it when they had patched out a lot of the really bad bugs.
Okay.
Is it as bad as everybody says it is? Not quite.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's terrible. I think
Kind
the
of
story.
on the fence there.
Yeah. I think the story is actually very heartwarming and very good.
Okay.
But other than that, it's very. The open world is definitely bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm gonna say for this answer?
Yeah.
I'm probably missing something, but like
Yeah.
I actually played some stuff I liked in 23. I
Surprising.
might say Little Nightmares
Really?
because
Oh,
I played it for
good
the
one.
first time. It's 2017 game,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I think it's Little Nightmares. Riley, do you have one?
I will say Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time.
Oh, great answer.
I love you.
That's a great
My
answer.
favorite game that I played last
I love
year.
you
It's great.
genuinely and professionally.
That's right.
Same.
You know,
Uh-oh.
if I had played Thousand Year Door for the first time this year, that might have been my answer for this question.
Oh.
Nick's wrong.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm joking.
beep.
Yeah. Beep. Live
Well,
censor.
What are you looking forward to in 2024? I mean, for me, it's playing Baldur's Gate 3. That's mine.
Yeah, because dude, Alan Wake 2 and Baldur's Gate 3, I'm fucking chomping at
Man.
the bit for that shit.
And you know, I hate to say it, but I am interested in the Elden Ring expansion. 'Cause
Yeah,
it looks like
sure.
there's a lot going into that, so I would be
Oh, yeah,
interested
Dude,
in it.
Silent Hill 2, Hellblade 2.
2024 could be a pretty big year,
So, I think 2024 has got some stuff
Yeah.
if you look through.
and a lot of things like that I missed in 2023 that I want to catch up on.
Riley, we're looking forward to playing anything in particular?
Just what you already mentioned.
Okay.
It seems like a lot of re-releases or ports that might make games more accessible. So that's cool.
Yes,
This
that's
next
great.
question's fucking awesome. I just don't know if I could answer it. What are your
can.
favorite lines from the Gears of War games? Oh, can I start?
We could go on for like an hour right now.
I mean, to be honest, when Marcus curb stomps someone, he says, suck my boot. Like,
Suck my
is it
boot.
eat my boot? I think
I
it
don't
sucked
know.
my boot. That's great.
That's a great
I was
line.
going to say the part in the second game where you're going down in those drop pods or whatever, and they get locked into one, and he goes, "Oh fuck," because he can't fight the bad guy. That's a great one.
They just say fuck really well in the first game.
They do.
Like,
the one I mentioned in the episode where they're fighting the Locust Queen, and I think it's Dom is like, "Do you ever get the impression that she's fucking with us?" And Barrett says, "No, this feels like a pretty genuine attempt on my life."
That's really good.
do you know what always made me laugh about Gears of War 1? How many times they just say the word resonator, but they don't
Yeah.
tell you what it is.
Yeah.
It's like this. It's
Resonator.
like this little like BB-8
It'll
thing.
map their tunnels.
The resonator. Like I remember, like
You are the so many like quotable lines. Like, "You are the support, son."
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
Everything Coltrane says, of course.
The Coltrane woo. The Coltrane rap is funny.
Yeah.
It's great.
God damn it, Cliffy B. I give you a salute, my guy.
I gotta give him props.
Great lines.
North Andover boy.
That's right.
Okay. Let's move on. S Rule. Hi, regarding Elden Ring, I shared nearly every grievance that you had in your review in my first playthrough. Have you tried Elden Ring again? I was a little more positive on bosses on my second playthrough.
See, that's what I said.
So here's what I do with Dark Souls games. I beat it once and then I start a new game and dick around, but I never finish it again. I kind of, example, in Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3, I did a dagger only in my second run. I never finish it though on the second time through. I dick around.
I tend to do the same thing. I've played through like the beginning up until the last part of Elden Ring a couple times now, trying out different characters,
Yeah.
different things. I've had fun every time. I think with Elden Ring specifically, there's a lot of cool stuff to find in the world. And if you want to have a really specific kind of character, chances are you can get it done pretty early.
Okay.
I think that's cool.
Riley, anything to add?
No, I do feel that if I ever get the chance to try it again, I will also feel a little more positive.
Especially
Okay.
with the expansion. Who knows? They'll probably add some cool stuff.
Yep.
The timing of this next question is very good, only for me. JakeMan228, have you played Lies of P? And what are your thoughts on that game? Okay, boys, business discussion live on mic.
All right.
So we are most likely covering this next season. So I'm only going to give you 10 seconds to put the hooks in you. I played it. I finished it. It is, I will say it is interesting, and I liked it more than fans think I would like it. I don't know if I want to go too much farther. It is way better than what some of you are thinking. I mean, anything else anyone wants to add? You want to move on?
I played the demo. I liked it enough.
Yep.
It wasn't my favorite thing in the world, but I would like to play the full version.
Okay. Okay. I think this is pronounced Dean Shower Handle. Great episode. Loved playing Limbo and Inside. Would you consider doing a review on Blasphemous and Blasphemous 2? They're both really gritty and the controls are insanely precise. I've never heard of these games.
You never heard of them?
I've heard of them.
Oh,
Really?
I've heard of them too, yeah.
Are
Apparently,
they?
people like them.
All right. Business meeting live on mic.
Let's take a little look.
Are they in your notes at all in terms of things that we're going to cover later? I don't think so. We'll take a look. So
I hear people like them. I hear they're pretty good. So
Okay.
yeah, good suggestion.
Morton, hey guys, greetings from Norway.
Hey.
What's up, dude? Quick question. As an avid soundtrack lover and piano player, I'd be curious to know which game soundtrack is your favorite, or which ones do you keep coming back to? These are all nostalgia driven. Okay, I'm going to give you one. I mean this unironically. I'm not joking. I love the Quest 64 soundtrack. There are 3 or 4 songs I think are very nice. Ocarina of Time is an obvious choice.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Final Fantasy X. Not my favorite. Nick?
10 specifically?
I'm saying the soundtrack to 10.
Really?
It's very, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh God, for me too. Okay, I gotta say my one answer. I think every single Fire Emblem soundtrack is underrated, and it should be listened to more. Those composers should get more credit.
Yes.
But soundtrack I keep coming back to, those would be Final Fantasy VI and Golden Sun: The Lost Age.
Nice. Oh, Golden Sun. Nice.
Great soundtracks.
Battle
to those
theme
games.
is really good. Riley?
Yeah, I agree with you about Ocarina. Anything that has like a leitmotif is really amazing to me.
We've got a great game called Final Fantasy 16. We'd love for you to try out, Riley.
Oh sure.
Yeah.
What have I got to lose? Yeah,
It's light. honestly.
it's light, but you get that too with Mario and
Yeah.
Halo. Anything that like an orchestra can play and kind of blow out.
Yeah.
I'll kind of zag here and say that Silent Hill 2, especially, I think is, I mean, they're all cool, those first 4 game soundtracks, but I'm not really someone who usually likes abrasive stuff if it's not like to a beat.
Yeah.
But it is a very successful kind of dread-inducing soundtrack that I've never heard anything like before.
Cool.
Actually, can we talk about the Silent Hill 2 soundtrack for like 30 seconds?
Yeah.
You just kind of put an idea in my brain. Do you know what I love about the Silent Hill 2 soundtrack? I love that there's some almost like synthesized, almost like lo-fi hip-hop tracks in this game, and they contrast it with like industrial like dread. Where like, do you know what's cool to me? I think the Pyramid Head final boss is like, I'm not saying it's actually pots and pans, but it's industrial sounds that are actually playing a backbeat. It's actually clicked out.
Right.
It is interesting.
I specifically also am thinking about the part where you have to go down the big hole.
Yes.
You keep jumping down and you hear like what sounds like a really distorted sample of like a man crying or something. It's really scary. Yeah. It's great.
The only part of Silent Hill 2 soundtrack I don't like is the weird 90s intro like stuff that they do.
Yeah,
weird.
That hasn't held up super well. But I did want to add on to this, the Greetings from Norway bit. I think it's greetings to you as well.
Yes.
And I think it's crazy that we apparently have listeners all over the world.
Yes.
And I tip my hat to you. I really appreciate you listening. And I did want to add too, I was going to bring this up separately, that everything we're talking about is from a very like American perspective. So if we are maybe like sick of something that you're not, you know, it's coming from a bunch of guys in the great state of Massachusetts. We're only speaking to our own experience, but hopefully you don't disagree too sharply with anything we're saying.
Oh, some people definitely do. I think most people have problems with me.
That's true.
Yeah. Well,
that's true.
Yeah, well,
it's difficult.
We all have
being
problems
you.
with Greg.
yeah.
I'm kidding.
I know. Okay, do we want to move on?
Yeah.
Okay. The next question is from Brady Burns. We're coming down close to the end here. Hey guys, I'm loving the show so far. The series I'm hoping you recap is Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, Killzone, and Tomb Raider. Cheers, keep it up. PlayStation fan, clearly. You know what's funny, man? These are actually some series I don't know anything about. Like, don't know anything about Jak and Daxter, don't know anything about Ratchet and Clank, don't know anything about Killzone. I played some Tomb Raider. I played 2 of the reboots. Anyone have any thoughts on this? He's actually kind of struck me out here.
My only thought on this is I got a copy of Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart with my PS5, which I gave away to my friend Alex. So I currently don't own that anymore.
Jeez.
So I don't know if I have any interest in Ratchet and Clank, but I hear people like them, and I heard Rift Apart was very good.
Riley?
No, it's one of those things because I didn't grow up with that console, so I missed out on a lot of these. I know some of it is Naughty Dog.
I think it's Naughty Dog and Insomniac.
Right.
Yeah.
I hear people love Killzone.
Yes.
I played the first Tomb Raider reboot like completely.
2013-ish.
I thought it was pretty good. I have played some of the very old ones, like way back, like at my friend's house. And I have a deep affinity for that era of games. We're gonna put that Butler right in the freezer. If anybody knows what I'm talking about. It's one of the first things you can do. But yeah, it's all like maybe someday. It's like I just
none of these are a no. It's maybe.
Yeah. We just haven't played all of these.
Yeah. We're gonna move on. Kyle Boswell, Season 1 Greg is what got me hooked on goddamn GameCube. Greg's IGN list reactions were so brutal and amazing. Not all of okay, Kyle. I just want to let you know, not everyone thinks that.
Amazing is not something that a lot of people would use to describe those episodes.
No. So I've said this on the show before. Those IGN lists were really, like, I would say double-edged sword, right? Where it did get us some popularity. It also got us detractors and bad reviews and eek. So, okay, they were funny. And I think, listen, those were the early days. Riley and I were figuring it out. I think it was fun to do. I know they have a mixed response. Riley, anything to add?
No, I think a lot of it was I listened to them again recently, and there were some where we were like, oh, I don't really know, and then we were kind of like, oh, we'll put a pin in it, maybe we'll revisit it at some point. I mean, we weren't like saying these games are worthless. It was just like, oh, I don't really mess around with that type
and I got
of
some
game.
redemption because we played Celeste for the season on this season.
Right. The only thing I have to add to that is, guys, keep it up. Wait for goddamn GameCube season 12 when we do the IGN Games of the Decade in 2030.
Oh, Jesus.
There will be 5 games.
Yeah.
No, I think what this character is saying is that they miss your brutal honesty and they want some more.
I'm still honest.
I think we still get
I
that.
just feel like I'm more articulate and conscious of how to present myself now.
Yeah, me too. For
Yeah.
sure.
I stand by all my opinions.
For better or for worse.
For better or for worse. Okay. KM Vigent.
Hey, we know
what's
you.
up, dude? What are some gaming tropes that you unironically love?
Oh, I got one right off the right off
Really?
the bat here.
Go
I got
ahead.
one. I love tropes, especially when done well. I think tropes are what really make media what it is. I love it. So the first trope, it actually happened in Final Fantasy 16. That's why it's so top of mind. It is immersion breaking, and I shouldn't like it, but I love when a game gives you a warning that says, hey, something is about to change drastically. Go and take care of any unfinished business. That's how I know shit's about to go down, and I love
I
it.
feel like I like that for the utility, but I hate that.
I love it. It's
Really?
great. I love it. It makes me
Because
feel like, let's go.
You don't like it because it's like two games.
It's immersion breaking.
It's immersion breaking.
That's what I'm saying. It's
If they
immersion
can
breaking.
find
but
a way to do it in a way that's
Yeah.
organic, like
I kind of like when a character says to
Sure.
you, like, hey, like, I don't know if we
there
can
may
come
be
back
no
after
turning
this.
back.
There may be no
Yeah.
turning back.
Sure, yeah.
Like, Riley, a gaming trope that you like?
um
Man, for me, it might be none.
well, in what context are we using trope?
Maybe
here?
something like very gamey, happens all the time, overused.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I like it when games let you physically travel, like versus fast traveling. I
Is
would
that
say
a trope?
I mean, it's like, well, when, like, for example, I like as long as the pageantry is there. I like traveling. Like, I like it all being connected. That you go to like a desert and a forest and that kind of thing, and it's all like connected. You know what I mean?
I have one for you.
Mhm.
I really like when, if I go behind that waterfall, well, there'll be a treat for
Yes.
me. Yeah.
That's a great
Like
one.
if I go
Those
off
are
on
cute.
this off the beaten path, am I going to get something for it?
Yes.
Oh, it's a video game, so probably.
Yeah.
I-
That's a good one.
Oh, should I go talk to everyone? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Those are good
It's
tropes.
rewarding your investment in it.
Yeah. Okay, 2 more.
All right.
Kaime86 will mod and will kick you out of the Discord if you don't behave. Will you ever do a Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty episode? Each of you could play a different life path and go for different endings. It would be perfect. Okay. Maybe. I've thought about asking you guys if you want to do Cyberpunk. It crossed my brain.
I think at some point.
Here's the thing. I don't dislike The Witcher, and I do like Deus Ex, and it's kind of both of those things. Maybe we might do it.
I think at some point. I think for the most part this season we kept the games pretty lean just so we could, keep churning them out.
Yep.
If we ever go for a more like long form format, we might do some like more open-ended RPGs and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be better suited to that.
Nick, anything?
Man, Cyberpunk is just not my genre. It's really not. If we want to do an episode on it, I will do my best, but I don't think I would enjoy this game very much.
Do you mean in like the setting?
Yeah,
or,
the setting is just not my thing.
Okay.
Not my thing. Yeah.
What was the most fun game we covered this year, fiscal year?
Oh, this is an intern formatting error. This question is from Gold Thorfinn or Dan. Sorry, I did not indent here. These are 2 separate questions. Intern formatting error.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
What was the most fun game we covered this year? Okay. I think objectively the most fun game we covered this year is Rayman Origins and Legends. But because they're so goofy.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm trying not to like conflate fun with favorite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, even though I probably should.
Hmm.
I mean, I think go ahead.
Mine is Fear.
Oh,
I think I had the most just
just
visceral fun with that game. It was very uninterrupted.
what's the most fun I had playing this year? I don't know.
I think this might not. There's not a specific game, but I really enjoyed your introduction, but Greg and I's kind of replay of Mario RPG, Paper Mario, and Thousand Year Door. I think I mentioned in the Mario RPG episode, we play a lot of bleak, dark shit on this podcast, and it's just a really, really nice to get into 3 games that aren't that difficult. They're very
Mm-hmm.
bright and cheery. They're funny. And I had a blast revisiting all three of those.
Okay. The next part of this question is really funny. He said, any new waifus?
Greg, I'm so sorry.
What?
I'm so sorry for this one.
Go ahead. Just say it.
Annabella and Benedicta.
Ugh.
I'm sorry, but like, come on. Come on. You got to give that to me.
I don't think I have any. You know what?
You got to give it to me.
I can't.
Come on.
Do you know why? Why? I still have
Why?
my heart set on Miss Mass, I think.
She's coming back, so that's good.
Oh my God, that's
fucking
right.
God. That's right.
we found out there's a new.
How do you have a new Genesis? How do you do that?
No, it's the next book. It's in the Bible.
Fuck.
That's right.
I mean,
Wait, what is it called again?
I don't know.
It's like something. We should be a little polite because the company liked one of our posts.
Is that why we're being polite? No, I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna bounce off that for a second. We're being polite because their game was interesting, even though we critiqued it heavily.
Yeah.
Still a cool game. Yeah.
I think I'm still obsessed with Miss Mass.
But
Miss Atomic Bomb, you know?
if she's in the next one, it's kind of an instant play for me.
Instant play.
Yeah. As long as you don't say
Wait.
bomb bed, I think we're good.
Instant
Right, yeah.
instant crush.
Instant crush.
Last one? Everyone ready for the last
one.
one?
That's
This
right.
is sad. Last question of the season.
Wow.
Actually, before I answer this last question, remember that question about the marry, fuck, kill?
Yes.
I think that that character we didn't know, it could have been Time Splitters. I think it's Siphon Filter. It could have been Time Splitter. Anyway, let's go to the last question. King Cypher, what was the best worst game that you played last year? I think it's both best and worst.
I thought it was like what was a terrible game that you had a lot of fun playing?
Shit.
I think that would be
Is
an
that
interesting
is that
read.
the question, or is this a typo?
Might be a typo.
Okay, and any plans for some live streaming of games that you might talk about during the podcast this year? Live streaming, probably not, right? We don't do a lot of it.
I do some Twitch streaming.
You do a little, right?
That's right.
Here and there. Usually stuff that we're covering. If you want to, I'm GDGC Riley on there. If you want to throw me a follow.
Nice.
Okay.
The best worst game though.
Oh, it's Final Fantasy 16.
That was,
right?
yeah, I mean.
Because it's a $300 million, in your words, masterpiece.
That's right.
Where like
Masterpiece.
it looks amazing, it sounds amazing. Well, not really, but it's
Hey,
like it's
it did win something
optimized
here.
and it plays great, but it's fucking sucks. Like
It's a game that I honestly did not hate playing it, but I hated a lot about it.
God, I hated so much of it.
But it was kind of fun to play.
Yeah,
So I think that's a great answer to best worst game.
I think so.
Yeah.
My answer is Dead Rising
Oh.
because I think it's really interesting, but just the way it came together just
brutal.
didn't work for me.
Well, that is the end of the questions. So
Yes.
we are not. Well, I should actually tell the fans this. If you listened all the way through this, surprise, kind of. There is going to be some bonus content because I am going to be, as I said earlier, I'm covering the Game Developers Conference, and I am going to do an episode about it. We are going to be interviewing some cool people at the Game Developers Conference. We'll keep it under wraps who it is, but there is some, I would say, very relevant and big stuff, which is very cool. Do you guys have any parting words in season 5? Maybe, I mean, just thank you to the fans. We grow significantly every season. Anything? You have the last word.
I'll just say, thanks everybody for listening to us. We appreciate all the comments. We appreciate all the new subscribers we get. Keep commenting, keep engaging with us, keep telling your friends. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Riley, you have the last word.
Fuck. No, I agree with everything Nick said, and I'm not sure when we will be back for season 6, but I think we will only continue to improve, and I hope you like what we have lined up next season.
Yeah, so I think that's going to do it for season 5 of Goddamn Gamepy. Can we do a little applause? Just a little one? So I don't know when we're going to be back. It's about 6 months. We'll keep everyone up to date on our social media. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in season 6.